Welcome to tonight's show. You're with Tom, Brian and Steve, and this is NRL from the Sidelines, and as we do it every time this week, gentlemen, we're going to talk about the last round of the NRL.
Yes.
That has completed. Brian has no idea what NRL is
I
anymore.
don't know what you're talking about.
And we're going to talk about some of the semis coming up next week, some of the mighty teams that are appearing in the semis, unlike some of the lesser teams that are appearing in the semis. Brian, how are
He's a
you?
cool man, isn't he?
What?
He's
How
a
are
cool
you?
man.
Oh, yeah, it's been a great week. Lots of work, backyard, digging around, normal stuff.
You're going to contribute to a football show any time tonight?
Probably not.
Probably not. No, okay. Tom, you well?
Yeah, I'm great, thanks.
Good.
I'm great.
All right, so let's get started, gentlemen. We have a few things that I want to talk about midway. So what we're going to do is we'll just hold that off.
Do you want to mention what they are so that the viewers will know what we're about to talk about in the next few minutes?
No, he doesn't. Otherwise, he would have.
Okay. Just thought it might be something for them to...
I took your side then, Steve.
I know. I noticed that. Thank you very much. But you know what? They will wait excitedly for that segment.
I hope so.
They will.
All right.
I'll guarantee. If anyone isn't still watching by that segment, tell me, okay? Okay, let's...
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep, righto.
Oh, sorry. This slide was added in error. I apologise. That shouldn't be here. So you can see there's a message here saying added in error. I apologise. That wasn't supposed to be there. Let's move on.
What was it?
That one?
Yep.
That
looks like Brian.
Well, I don't know. It's a bit...
But he's wearing a RABBITOHS jersey.
Yeah, I don't know who that was. That's a bit strange.
Ugly.
His evil twin, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, well, he would be evil if he was wearing that.
But anyway, like I said, that was added in error, and I apologise. That shouldn't be there. You're right, Brian? You seem to be getting a bit tense over there.
All right.
Eels 22, Storm 14.
Yes.
Surprising result. I've got to say, I was in Westmead while this game was being played. And when they scored the first try, you could hear the stadium from Parramatta.
Really?
I know it's not that far away, but it was loud.
Yeah, I thought the Moses. I thought the
Eels. The Moses played well.
The Moses, yeah, the Mosai. No, I thought the Eels were good. They were very good. I mean, no Jerome Hughes. He makes a big difference in that team, but in the Melbourne team. But no, I thought that they had lots of good energy.
Yep.
I mean, Gutherson again had a standout game. Look, I think maybe they're warming up.
They are.
Maybe.
I mean, Regan Campbell-Gillard.
Yeah, he's been killing it, hasn't he? He's got to be an automatic selection for the tour.
Well,
I think.
they were saying in the papers today that he's, but
Absolutely.
there's a lot of props that are doing very well at the
yeah,
moment. But yes,
sure.
he'll certainly be one of them.
Yep. Yeah, no, good. What do you
Brian,
say, Steve?
anything you
Brian?
want to say about Parramatta?
No, I hate those teams.
Anything you want to say about Melbourne?
No, I hate both of those teams.
Anything you want to say about the game in general?
It was a good way to kill a Thursday night, I guess.
Can I say I know
What?
you're going to be so difficult.
I am indeed, particularly after you ribbed me again.
Well, I didn't read. What are you talking about? What, that? Is that you? Sorry, I wasn't aware. Is that really you? I got to say,
It gets worse, Brian.
I'm sure that it will.
No, it
every
gets
second
worse.
slide. Trust me.
No, it gets worse.
Oh, the games, yeah. Oh, he could do more, I don't know. Yeah, what were you saying, yeah?
I got to say, I was really impressed with Mitchell Moses on the tackle he did on
Yeah,
Nelson.
Jenny Bromwich.
Kenny
Kenny
Bromwich.
Bromwich, yeah.
That was an outstanding tackle on a halfback on a middle forward.
What did you think about Asafa Solomona? His hit on Moses when he kicked it.
That was nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was much.
You know, that's part of the problem because I'm not a big Nelson fan, but if you play that close to the line, every now and then you're gonna cop something you don't deserve, and he did not deserve to be binned for that.
He aimed up though.
Oh yeah,
Nass. He
but I think
aimed up for him.
he's now got the Wura-Hargraves disease where everything that he does is going to be looked at.
No, he's
and
taken the crown.
scrutinised.
He's taken the crown from.
No, not yet. No.
All right, gentlemen, let's move on to the Bulldogs. 21 defeated the Eagles 20. Brian,
What?
I think if I remember rightly, at early in the game,
Oh,
Manly were ahead, what, 14-0 or something or other?
they were going a point a minute, Steve. A point a minute.
And then, and that was until the 28th minute, and then it all fell apart.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I do know what happened. My analysis of the game is that my Mighty Eagles are terribly out of form, and I went back and I've watched a couple of other games that they've lost over the last few weeks where there hasn't been real football on, and what I've noticed is that everyone who thinks they can is trying. So, Kieran Foran, shocking kicking game. Lachlan Croker, terrible missing tackles. Dylan Walker, kicks over the side. Like everybody is working. They don't seem to be working to a plan. Everybody thinks it's their responsibility to get the team to win.
Okay, but isn't that the coach's issue?
It might be the coach's issue. I think this was the first game where I thought, ooh, this is actually not really good.
Yeah.
There is. I mean, apart from being disjointed, I went back and I watched other games, and it's more than once this has happened.
Yeah.
Where at crucial points of the game, they didn't go to their game plan. They didn't go to their best kicker. Somebody had to try something because they thought that it was their responsibility to get them out of trouble, and yeah, it fell apart. It fell apart. All it took was a little bit of pressure by the Dogs, and they fell apart.
I think it's in their heads. I think the last couple of weeks has been in their heads. I don't think they're not playing like the team that they could be.
Well, we'll talk about Manly later, because I want to specifically ask you about Des and all that sort of stuff.
Well, and I'll tell you, the Dogs weren't good either.
No, they weren't. No.
Which is just terrible.
Yeah.
You know when you lose to a team that is really not playing well, that it's bad. That's all.
All right, that's all. All right, let's go on to the Roosters 26 defeating the Rabbitohs 16.
So I didn't see that last game because we were at the ground. I was at the ground.
My goodness.
Yep.
Well, this game was boring.
I thought this was a good game.
Really?
Yeah. Look, the Roosters deserved their win. They came out. They started better than what South did. They got to a reasonable lead, 16-0 or something.
It's 20-6, I think, at half time, and they should have gone on with it. In the second half, they were terrible.
They certainly
really
slowed
terrible.
down, and I can't help to wonder if that's not because you've played Melbourne last week, and that was a very tough game. Sure. And then you come out with the Rabbitohs, and you start hot, and it's tough.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if
you
you lost a bit of
You know
gas
what
at the end.
I think it is? I think they need to move Suahali to fullback and get rid of Desco.
Well, there's rumoured.
What a dumb comment. Anyway, continue on.
There's rumoured that someone wants that to happen as well.
Oh my
well,
goodness.
and they're in Suali's camp. Not that Joseph
But you know what?
Suali
And again,
is
we
on
will talk about
outside
that
of
later. But what do you think Tedesco's sitting back thinking about Suali now? Well, young upstart. If you're saying,
but it's not coming from Joseph. I don't think it's coming from.
You know what?
It's coming from somebody who's actually works or has association with the Rabbitohs. So he does. This Natansky works with the Rabbitohs.
He doesn't.
He does.
He's a mentor of Joseph Suali. If he was with the Rabbitohs, South would not have lost him.
Yeah, that's true too.
So no.
Apparently he was mentoring him at the Rabbitohs,
and he's mentoring him now.
Yeah. Let me tell you, whoever the guy is, he's got rocks in his head because Tedesco's the second best fullback in the game, and Joey Manu's in the team.
Well, he's the best fullback in the game.
Well, only because Tom is injured.
Oh, please.
No, only because we don't think Latrell's as good as him. But I guess my concern is, and this is why South didn't want him, because we didn't want this argument. At the end of every single year, and it's going to be.
Sure.
This is the problem.
Yeah, look, and I think the Roosters knew that, but they probably thought they could romance him into staying at the club, and hopefully they will.
And I think year on year they might, but I think come a World Cup,
sure,
Olympics, Commonwealth Games.
But if we can get good value out of him in the meantime, then I think we'll certainly be doing our best.
With all due respect, he hasn't done a lot. He plays well, no, but he's not a Tedesco, isn't it?
No, of course not,
Honestly,
because he's been
you
there
know.
5 minutes.
That's
But
right,
what
that's
he's
what I'm
done has
saying.
been spectacular.
He's achieved nothing.
Yeah. No, that correct.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
He's just
yes.
taken a spot from someone who they could develop. That's all.
You need to go on holidays.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
you need
Yeah,
to
I
take a
am.
football
I am.
holiday.
I am going on
You
holiday
need to
soon.
take a football holiday.
But
Seriously.
I mean, South.
You're just bitter and twisted.
South of the Roosters' game plan was against Latrell was
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
They had 4 or 5 players on him every time he touched the ball. I mean,
And I can see the Rabbitohs working on that.
Oh, they'll
how
work
to
on
avoid
it now.
that next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. But look, it was a good game plan, and I thought the stadium was magnificent. I loved the atmosphere. I got to see 2 games with the Roosters playing. Got a win, but I walked away somewhat disappointed because I thought we should have nailed the Rabbitohs and we didn't.
Yep.
I mean, Latrell goes up for 10. I was actually like 20 meters from him, and so he goes off for 10. What happens? We fumble the ball. They run down 60 meters and score a try against a runner play, and they score another one before Latrell gets back. I think that's that. Yeah, hopefully they've been talking about that.
yeah. So you thought the stadium was good?
Oh, magnificent. Yeah, it's
The
great.
home of the Roosters?
Loved it. Well, whatever. I just loved it. I loved being there.
Parramatta can't say the home of the Parramatta Eels, but the Roosters get it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not buying into all that stuff because I've got my own thoughts about it too. But I thought that the only thing I have complaints about is the sound, like the public address system, was not great, and hopefully they can do something to improve that because it was not great.
Yeah, okay. All right, Titans 27, Warriors 26. I had to leave this game about, 8 minutes before the end. I thought this was wrapped up.
Yeah.
They were 10 points behind, and all of a sudden I saw the Titans win. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
what do you say about the Warriors at the moment?
Well, I don't know who's better able to lose a game, the Warriors or the Tigers. They're both terrible.
Yeah.
Why couldn't we play them?
The Titans the last few weeks have shown what they can do in attack. They just can't defend. They've got some terrific attack. I mean, AJ Brimson's been wonderful. Even Tanner Boyd's getting more involved. He's had more time.
Jaden
Fermore's been
Jaden
good.
Campbell was excellent.
Okay, so let me ask a question. What's the problem? The Titans made the top 8 last year, albeit 8th,
Yep.
but they made the
Yep.
top 8.
Yep.
Now
And they're probably unlucky not to go in the second round.
Yes,
to be honest.
and now they're barely, well, they are bottom 4.
Yep.
What's the is it really just Fogarty that's gone and that's made
Defense. Their defense is woeful.
Yeah. See, I
So
still
what had changed from last year to this year? I mean, they've still got the same.
I still think like in the modern game, the fullback runs the defensive line, and I just don't. And they've been inconsistent.
Yeah.
They've had 4 or 5 fullbacks this year.
Yeah.
Like really, it makes that position is so crucial to your team.
Yeah. And I've got to say, Jaden Campbell, I love him as a player.
Oh,
He's
fantastic!
so
Yeah.
good.
And
For a kid who's built like a matchstick.
I'm hoping he'll keep going because
So if he's at fault, perhaps let's say for argument's sake, if he's at fault for not organising the back line, he either needs to learn that over the pre-season, or he could make a half.
Yep.
He could be switched to the halves.
No.
I think Brimson would probably be a better organising fullback.
Yeah. All right, Dragons 22, Broncos 12.
This was a interesting game.
Well, I honestly thought the Broncos were going to win. I thought they'd finally show up and show a bit of heart. And
Yep.
Bye bye donkeys.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Well, I mean, it was mission impossible. They had to win by 54 points, and the Raiders had to lose. So
Yeah, but they came out and they offered nothing.
yeah.
Yes.
The Dragons just went bang 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 bang, and
Sure.
I'm surprised that at probably half time, I'm surprised the Dragons didn't go on with it.
Yeah. Have you got Ben Hunt as the Dally M winner?
Yeah,
Because a lot of people do.
I think so. I can't see
If
anyone
not,
else.
he's pretty close.
Yeah, no, they had a lot of players stand up in that Dragons team. Jack Bird was exceptional.
Yes, he was. Best game I think he's had for a long time.
Who's the
Cody Ramsey, he's really come along.
Fee guy?
Goodbye. Fionney.
That
Fionney.
try that he scored.
He
he
apparently-
got 9 tacklers.
apparently he wants to play centres, and Hook won't let him. and then he plays centre in one game, makes 250 metres and scores 2 tries. I say give the bloke the position he
I
wants.
think, yeah, give him a shot.
Yeah, why not?
What do you got to lose?
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
So the Dragons,
Yeah.
Broncos done for the year. All right.
Yep.
Cowboys 38 defeated the Panthers 8.
Is it really even worth talking about this game, to be honest? Cause,
Well, I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
We've always say that if you get beaten by 50, you can't win the grand final.
Yep.
Would it still hold? Would people say, well, it still holds because the Panthers only had a reserve grade team on that maybe got beaten by 50?
No, it wouldn't
Or
hold.
would all of a sudden now there's been asterisks, except for when the Panthers run?
well,
a
look at the
reserve
Rabbitohs.
grade
They got
team.
beaten twice by 50 last year
They
and made
still
the grand
didn't win the
final.
grand- yeah,
I
they still
know,
didn't win
but
it.
they made the grand final. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to think. Look, the
There was
the Cowboys were workmanlike.
Yeah, they weren't spectacular.
They didn't need to be though.
No, they didn't.
All they had to
They-
do was go through their process.
They looked clumsy at times, though. The Panthers were still... They weren't in the game, but they tried all the way to the
Yeah.
end. And
It
there
shows
was a
the discipline
try
that goes
by,
through all the ranks.
Sorry, there was a try that was saved by... Who was the big...
By Blacker.
Blacker.
Yeah.
That was an amazing
I
tackle,
like
wasn't it?
him. He's.
Yeah.
I can't believe
I've
the
never
Dragon.
heard of him before.
He
till now.
he's came from the Dragons.
Did he?
Yeah, he's a good young player.
He is, yeah.
Mm.
I couldn't believe he chased him
Ran him down, yeah.
That was
Yep.
amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, there's not a lot we can say. I mean,
Yep.
form-wise, it doesn't do a lot.
There's not much on this game either, really.
Sharks 38, Knights 16.
And I don't think the Sharks were wonderful, to be honest.
They were terrible.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't great,
Yeah.
but geez, the Knights were.
Yeah. Woeful.
See, at least there's other bad teams. Gives me a
Just
little
as
bit of
bad
hope.
or worse?
Well, like I said, I know, mind you, in saying that, the Knights have a lot of injuries as well in key positions, and their star players are out as well. So I'll let them off the hook.
I thought Tex Hoy in this game was superb.
Yeah, he was a great game.
And Dominic Young is really starting to show
Yeah.
what he can do.
He's
I think
terrific.
he's doing really well. Outside of those two,
Yeah, maybe he really does want to come to Manly.
As I've said, he should be a certainty for the English team.
Oh, apparently he is.
He's got to be.
Adam O'Brien's been
He's
told.
got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Adam O'Brien's
He's a real
been
talent.
told.
A real talent.
no, he was told.
Is
He was. Dominic Young was announced. Was
okay.
yeah.
In the squad. He's
In the
20,
squad.
isn't he? 20 years of
Yeah,
age.
he's only a kid. Yeah,
He's 6'6".
he's a
something.
monster.
Yeah,
Talakai could be
terrific.
missing for next week. That could be an issue for the Sharks.
Oh, I don't know.
Look, if you're going to lose players, I think Talakai's one you could afford to lose.
Yeah.
He's not a Nico Hines. He's not even Britton Nakora, Mulatalo, those sort of players. You can't afford to lose them.
Yep, agree.
Let's talk
Wow.
about another disappointing
Shock.
team, the Tigers, being beaten by the Raiders 56-10. The score at half time was
42-0.
42-0.
So they almost won the second half.
Almost.
Only almost. The record of half-time score is 48-0.
Right.
They almost got that.
Yeah. Well, there was talk at one point saying if they score another 70 points in the second half, they'll actually go above. I think it was the EELS or something.
Against over South.
Yeah.
Because I did look at that.
Ooh.
As they were at 42-0 in front at half-time, I thought, ooh, I wonder how much gap there is. So I did actually have to go and have a look and say, oh,
My goodness.
I didn't think they were going to get there. That was a relief.
But they could have.
Could have. That was terrible.
And
Set
no
after
Whiteman,
set.
no Whitehead, and no Whiten.
Mm.
Gee.
So were the Tigers pathetic, or
Yeah.
were the Raiders exceptional?
Well, anytime you score 56 points, you've got practice, and that practice
Yes.
is going to serve you well. It's the same when the Roosters played the Tigers. It was embarrassing, but the thing is, it was good practice for the team scoring all the points, and you got to count something.
Yep.
So where do the Tigers go from here? Brett Kamali has been done.
Oh.
I mean, he's been thrown a hospital past something
Oh,
terrible.
yeah.
Poor guy. Yeah.
His career's over. I don't think he'll ever get it. Not as a head coach. He might get an assistant somewhere. He won't get a head coach job.
I don't know.
Not for a long time.
Yeah.
But Tim Sheens, Benji Marshall are sitting back, letting all this stuff happen.
Yep.
And now they're going to take control. And okay, I respect that. I don't know.
And bring Munster.
Well, they're not going to get Munster.
They might.
They won't get Munster.
Tim Sheens is a very influential man, apparently.
Yeah.
That influential?
If Munster's got to go anywhere, I'd be happy him going to the Tigers.
They're not going to be able to afford 1.3 million that the Dolphins can afford.
Well, the rumour is that they're just cutting players left, right, and centre. So I don't know who they're bringing in.
Yeah, well, they're bringing in 2 as far as I know.
No, who knows?
Okay. All right, gentlemen, who wants to do the round for the last time this year?
The ladder, you mean?
Ladder.
See, the ladder doesn't show up.
Sorry,
Doesn't show up on here.
25. I should change it.
The ladder doesn't show up anymore on the NRL app.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah it does. You've got to move
does.
it across one.
There it is.
Yeah,
Look.
I've got no ladder here.
Panthers,
Yeah,
Panthers minor premiers 42, Sharks 38, Cowboys 36, Parramatta 34. They're each the top 4, gentlemen.
Top 4, yep.
Storm 32, Roosters 32, Rabbitohs 30, Cowboys and Canberra 30.
Yep.
Then we have the best of the rest, the Broncos, who nearly made the 8.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. And then the
7
Dragons.
weeks ago, they were 4th.
Yeah, then the Dragons, who could have made the 8. And then we have Manly on 20 points, the poor old Doggies on 16, the Titans on 14, the Knights on 14, the Warriors on 14, and the Tigers 10 lonely little points. Thank goodness for buys.
And one of those is a buy, that's right.
2 of those are buys.
That's right, 2 of them buys. Gentlemen, I want to talk
4
about
wins
something.
all year. 4
I've
wins
got
all year.
some talking
What
points
about, all right,
here.
first talking point.
Tylan May.
Oh,
Taylor
what-
May.
Taylor May.
What
he
a joke.
He gets charged for through the courts.
Yep.
For assault.
Yep.
So finally the court case goes through. We get the result.
Yep.
The NRL says, okay, we're now going to suspend you, or we're now going to take our action.
Yep.
They give him a $7,500 fine, which is
Suspended.
50% is suspended, and 2 games. Which, by the way, is because we're coming up to semis. You can take those next year. Now, I want to ask the question. I know you're going to say on field, off field.
No.
But why didn't Latrell then get the opportunity last year to say, oh, look, I got sent off.
Yep.
I want to take mine next year and play in the semis and the grand final for South.
Well, because it's stupid. Both of them are stupid
it's
ideas.
absolutely dumb.
Yeah.
Just because the court case didn't finish till now, tough luck.
Yeah. So once the judgment comes down, so if the judgment comes down, the NRL have all the information in front of them. They make their judgment. This person should be suspended for 2 weeks. It should start there, bang on the day.
Absolutely. No doubt at all. You know, I there's a few people out there that listen to us and that follow our Facebook
A
page
few, yes.
that are adamant that the Panthers don't get special treatment. Looks like they do.
Looks like they do.
Well,
That's it.
even
That's
if
all
they
I've got to
don't, this is a bad look for the Panthers. Whatever you think.
I don't know whether it's their fault.
Oh no, it's not their
Well,
fault, but it
no.
prospers. It fosters that whole belief that the Panthers get a
Parramatta
leg
have
up.
a player. Parramatta have a player. No, Roosters do.
Yeah.
Lindsay Collins
Lindsay
is
Collins.
suspended.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what's stopping the Roosters now saying, well, hang on,
Yeah.
these games are worth more than those other games,
Yep.
like
Yep.
you've done with
Yep.
him. Therefore,
Yep.
we want Lindsay
Oh
Collins.
look, and that was several years ago. There was a grand final where Cameron Smith was suspended for a week.
Yep.
2 weeks.
Yep.
And the big call was, oh, we're missing out on the best player playing in the biggest game. Well, and it was kind of like, well, we should have done the crime.
Isaac Luke missed the grand final
Yep.
with South
He
Sydney.
did. Yep.
So that begs the other question.
Yep.
I'm sorry, he's a good player, but he's not a Cameron Smith, an Isaac Luke,
No.
a Lindsay Collins.
No.
Well, so why is a average first grader at Penrith?
Bit more than average.
No. He's an average. Really?
He hasn't
bit more
proven
than average.
anything yet.
He would not make.
He'd
He
make-
wouldn't make the Roosters team.
He'd make my team.
Yeah, but anyone would make your team. I'd make your team. In fact, you should try and talk me into signing with you.
He's a very good. I think he's a very good player.
Is
But
he-
but
is a good player,
the
yes.
point is, regardless,
Yep.
he shouldn't be playing.
No.
And so
Yep.
NRL, we know you're watching. Take
Yep.
it from us
Get your-
geniuses.
I was like, get your act together.
Yes.
Well, that should have
What
come a
is
long
it?
time ago.
Well, even anyway, I don't like this no fault stand down anyway. So
Yeah. Well, it's proven to be incredibly problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have had Well, he was found guilty, but
Yeah, he was-
you
Could have had him for 2
fine
years.
For
But
2
look at
years.
St George. They missed out on
Jack de Bellin.
De Bellin for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he missed out, 6 State of Origins?
Yep.
It cost him a fortune not to play.
Yep. Anyway,
All right.
agreed. Next point,
Des,
Steve.
Manly, Des, and the future.
Yep.
Tell me, from a Manly perspective, what's
Ooh.
going on?
What are you hearing?
Well, there's a lot of dissension amongst the Manly fans.
So,
I will say this: clubs that do their business behind closed doors. I wish I had one. That's all. I don't know. Look, do I think that Des's time is done? No. But then, sport is results driven.
yep.
The results, I think you can point to a number of injuries and external issues that have contributed to the team's performance.
Yep.
Is it necessarily the coach? No. But one thing that I keep hearing, and I probably believe this a bit, is that Des is too old school and doesn't listen to people who have a difference of opinion to him.
Which is an interesting point. I want you to look at the old school coaches and tell me which ones are being successful at the moment. Because I can tell you now, there's one or two, but there's more that are not being successful
Yep.
than are being.
Yeah, that's right.
You look at Griffin at St George.
Yep.
Look at Des at Manly.
Yep. Even Madge was old school.
Madge was old school. Yep.
And I mean, and my issue is that my understanding is that the assistant coach from last year was Stephen Hales, and the players spoke glowingly of him about his ability to read a game and coach them and bring out their best. Des and him didn't see eye to eye. He's gone.
Is he still in the organisation? Is he playing junior? Is he
Isn't
coaching
he the
juniors?
one that they're trying to get back?
He's the one they're trying to get back.
Okay.
So he's moved to their juniors pathways, and I don't. So look, the simple thing is, I love Des. I think Des is the right man for the club, but I think that he needs to take those blinkers off. And when someone in his coaching staff says, "Let's do this a bit differently," perhaps he's got to look at the result and say, "Maybe I should be doing that."
Yep.
I don't know whether he ever will.
I don't think you can, and I'm not sure you could move him into a coaching director's
You
type
couldn't.
role because
He wouldn't be hands-on.
No, that's right. So I mean, and Des wants to pick his staff, pick the players, pick everything, do everything. So he's obviously a workaholic, but I think, unless he bends, I don't think that it's going to be a Des-coloured future. But in Des we trust.
Mind you, you're talking about this new guy. Anthony Seibold was the big thing at Manly years ago.
Yep. Hey, look.
I'll just leave it at that.
No, Anthony Seibold, Brad Arthur.
Yep.
We even had Dimitriev for a little while. Like we've had the coaches come through. So obviously Des can identify coaching talent. Just listen to him.
Yeah, but then when they start wanting their say, he lets
It's like
them go.
there's 4 current first grade coaches that were assistants at Manly. Like,
All right.
Des, get your act together.
We're going to move.
All
You
right,
want to say something quickly about Latrell and the booze?
I want to say something about Latrell and the
Okay,
Bees.
go on.
Yeah, look,
We're running out of time.
I posted that I'm torn with Latrell. I know I've complained about him a lot lately, and
A lot.
I don't like the arrogance and things. But at the same time, I'm a little concerned about him because I think he could easily fall into a real depressive state, and I think we've got to just be really careful because he wears his heart on his sleeve.
Yep.
I don't like the fact that he's all blustery and full of ego when they're winning, and when they're not, he's very, very flat. I was encouraged the fact that I just saw a photo of him hugging Robbo and going and taking photos with the Roosters
he
fans
did that
and things like
after
that.
the game,
So they gave him they gave him lots of stick the other night, booed him every time he touched the ball, and we had a lot of fun sending him off when he went in the sin bin. But I will never boo any player.
Yeah.
So honestly, I will never boo a
No,
player.
neither do
I think it's bad form. But I'm a little concerned about Latrell. I still irritated by some of the things he does, but I would want to reserve my judgment from completely lambasting him Yeah, that's my thought.
If it's not racist and it's not sexual, boo your heart out. That's it. Suck it up.
Racist, not
You know,
sexual.
he made a rod for his own back the way he carries on.
Yeah.
And
I don't think he has.
no, he does. His arrogance, thinking he's a superstar, the way he carries
He's
on.
a superstar. Everyone
The-
tells
the
him
way-
he's a superstar.
that's
That's
right.
the problem.
The way
that's the problem.
excuse me, the way he carries on. If he can't cop the booing with the cheers, see you later, son. We don't need you. That's
Oh,
it.
that was pretty
that's
full
it.
on last week.
Yeah,
I know.
and it's
You know
been,
what?
and it's, you know what, and it's full on for Wally Lewis, and it's full on for Big Nelson, and it's full on for Billy Slater. And it's like you go to a ground where they're playing. Mate, I've been to a Manly Souths game with you and sat in that filthy little burrow. And let me just tell you, a Manly player touches the ball, you guys decide that you're going to hack on him all night.
Well, as soon as the ball's kicked off, they
there
start
are,
going offside.
And there are 3 million boos going. Because you've all got 3 heads, you see.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So, yeah. No, we do.
You know what? I'm hoping that all this comes out and makes him go even harder on the weekend and smashes the
And it
Roosters.
may.
And
it may.
And
It may.
serves
And it may.
himself right.
Yep.
NRLW?
Yeah, yep. So it's been. I think it's flying at the moment. So I didn't put the roster up. I know the Roosters beat the Dragons. That was the grand final rematch, not replay. You corrected me that in 2013. The Knights are flying.
Yes.
And the Roosters are going extremely well, and they've won all 3 games, and so have the Knights. They're the only unbeaten teams. They face off on Sunday. Should be an absolute cracking game. The Broncos found a bit of form last week as well, albeit against the Titans, who I think are really struggling. They're going to finish at the bottom. So, look, it's a really interesting comp. What happens is they play each other once, 5 games, then they play the finals. So, yeah, fascinating. Should be good.
Yep.
Looking forward to it.
I quite like watching those games. So, yeah, tune in, everybody. That's good.
Yep, it's really good.
All right, let's go on to Panthers versus Eels on Friday night, first semi-final. Who wins, who loses, and why?
I'm going to stick my neck out and go the Eels at Panther Stadium. I reckon they'll win a narrow one because they've got self-belief that they can beat the Panthers.
And they've done it twice this year.
Yep. I know the Panthers have been rested. I know Cleary's champing at the bit, but I actually think the Eels are on a nice run of form. I think they'll do the job.
I think the Panthers have been rested. Nathan Cleary's champing at the bit, and they'll get home at home.
Yeah. Which is the most likely predictable result, you know.
So I break the deadlock, do I?
Yeah, you do.
Apparently.
Yep.
I've got to say I'm going Panthers.
Yep.
And only because it's at home. Mind you, the one beauty about a semi-final is that, and we'll talk about this later, everyone gets an equal chance to buy tickets unless they're South Sydney. You get an equal chance to buy tickets. And so you can get as many Parramatta fans to that stadium and all of a sudden turn it blue and gold. So it's going to be close.
And let me say, that wasn't the Roosters' fault. That was the NRL or Ticketek's fault.
Excuse me, how high is Nick with the... no, sorry.
Yeah.
I reckon Nick
You're a
had something to do with
conspiracy
it.
theorist.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to the Fisher Harris, Regan Campbell Gillard fight.
should be good.
Absolutely.
Fight.
Should be terrific.
Battle.
And Moses versus Cleary. You had Dylan Brown versus Luai.
Yeah.
Terrific matchups.
It's going to be sensational.
Edwards versus Gutherson.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Toho versus Sivo. I'm actually looking forward to this game.
Tremendous game. It's gonna
You're
be
looking forward to a
tremendous
Parramatta and Penrith game.
I am. I'll admit Parramatta in a very good vein of form.
game. Yes, they are.
Okay.
And and
Storm Raiders.
ooh, see, I think this is hard.
I'm going the Raiders.
Oh, really?
In Melbourne.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Storm will
Yep.
win this in a canter.
Yeah, I'm going the Raiders.
Why?
They've got a good record in Melbourne. I think they had the opportunity to get their attack going last week, albeit against nobody. But they scored tries. They got their combinations going, and I think the Storm are sputtering.
Yeah.
I think the Storm are stuttering.
I'm going to go the other way. Although I want the Raiders to go all the way to the grand final, I think this may be the death of them.
Yeah, I think it will be.
Well, that's the most likely result.
And the reason being, Munster and Jerome Hughes are back. Harry Grant's playing out of his skin. They've had some tough games, and basically the Raiders. I don't mean to be rude, but they've beaten no one. over the last couple of weeks. They've
They've
had soft games.
They've had soft games coming into the semis. That's right.
Yep.
All right, Sharks and Cowboys. This one I can't really pick. I go Sharks because it's at Shark
home.
Park
Yeah.
or something better.
I think the Cowboys are travelling better than the Sharks, to be honest.
I do too, but they kicked up such a fun. Well, South supporters are mental. Shark supporters down there are also crazy. I think.
I'm hurt by that.
Why?
I'm cut to the bone.
No, you're not.
He's heard that you're saying that
Look,
Sharks are equally as mad as the RABBITOHS
right,
fans.
Yeah.
We're maddest.
No, I'm on the Sharks. I think that there's too much experience and big game play in that team at the moment.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go to Cows.
All
I'm going against all the run.
I could
Steve?
vacillate. Like I say, I'm leaning towards the Sharks, but I could change just as easily.
You're right.
Yeah.
Roosters and Rabbitohs.
All right.
Well, it's pretty obvious.
Roosters, Rabbitohs.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Brian, who wins, who loses?
do you really want to know?
Yes.
Okay. This is my theory.
Have you written notes?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
I think that the victor of this game will be the Rabbitohs.
Oh, tell me why.
I think Joey Manu's a huge loss.
Yep.
I think he was the one who actually pulled the Roosters season
Let's
around.
keep talking while you. I'm just going to do something. I'm about to run out of power.
Yeah, so I think Joey Manu's a huge loss. I don't think that that your replacement players are anywhere near it.
I thought you did because I'm bored with you. It's just
Daniel Tupou's carrying an injury. Sualahi is an ego-driven Latrell Mitchell clone, but he's not as good as him yet.
Oh goodness.
Never will be.
And the Rabbitohs basically get a bunch of players back, even though and I actually don't know. I don't think Victor Radley can pass an independent HIA. I don't think he can.
Victor Radley.
Yeah. So Victor Radley has to go to an independent doctor for a HIA assessment.
Right.
And if the Roosters were dead set serious about looking after their players and head injuries, he should be out. Because that bloke just gets knocked out with too much frequency.
So are you going to apply that same logic to Cam Murray?
Cam Murray
got knocked out last week.
Yep.
Victor got knocked out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You going to apply that same logic?
Yeah, but
No.
this is
okay.
this
So it's not the same logic. Okay.
this is Murray's third, Radley's fifth this year.
No, it's not. He hasn't been knocked out more than twice this year.
Oh, you reckon?
No, he hasn't.
You don't have to go to an independent doctor unless it's more than 3. So it's at least 3,
No, it hasn't.
and it's more. You look it up.
I don't think so.
So I think with all
Okay.
that, I think I'm on Souths.
Okay. You know what? I came out of last week's game quite confident because of a number of things. Firstly, because of the way the Roosters couldn't keep up at the end, and I think they've lost a lot of energy. Because of Manu, I think he's going to be a massive loss. And because we have Murray, Cook, Campbell, Graham coming back. If you have a look at the tries that were scored by the Roosters,
Yep.
most of them were through Jackson Paulo. And that he and Campbell Graham is a much better defender.
Yep.
And I think you'll find that will be a huge difference for us.
Well, we didn't have any air attack last week. We're now going to have Sawali and Tupou in the air, which is going to make a big difference.
Plays.
But the thing with the players you've got coming back, they're hopefully to play. They're not guaranteed,
Yep.
and they're probably going to be 60, 70, 80%, not 100%.
You're assuming a whole lot of stuff.
Well,
So
I'm
it's
only
okay for you
assuming
to
what I'm
feel.
reading.
Yeah, it's okay for you to feel confident like that. I actually think.
I'm bored now.
And now there's the issue with Uncle Nick and his paper bag through to Ticketek saying, we don't want any South people, any dirty South
Why
people
do I bother
at the
being on the
stadium.
show? Seriously, why do I bother being?
We don't
on the show,
know.
honestly.
Excuse me, I usually back you guys, but I actually this is the one game this year that I actually think Souths will win.
Okay, fair enough.
And you know that what happened at Ticketek, that was disgraceful.
Oh, what it was. I mean,
It really was
Both
bad.
teams deserve an equal chance to
Yeah.
get their fans in there.
That was disgraceful.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I don't know what happened, but
Had my say.
Yep.
Actually, we're going too long.
There you go.
Footy tips. Brighton 75 leading 310, and you can see all of it there.
Chooksrall is actually in 7th
Chooksrall
position
is-
when he
no.
actually adjusts his.
Yeah, you're
tips.
actually in
Yeah.
8th position.
Seventh. I would be 7th
So
because
you'd be 7th.
for and against. Look at the for and against.
Chookswell actually called me before the game and said, please put my tip in for Parramatta. So, I don't know. I have to. They just haven't done it yet. I don't want to.
Gentlemen, we're going to call this to an end. We've gone well over time. Sorry about that, but I hope you've enjoyed the show. You're with Tom, Brian and Steve, and this is NRL from the Sidelines, and we'll do it all again next week.
Yes.
2 teams, gentlemen, drop out from this week.
Yes.
We're down to 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
Roosters and Roosters and Raiders, unfortunately.
Oh, well, you can have your opinion.
Well,
you have a right to be wrong.
I hope you're right. And I know you're a genius.
I hate the Storm.
Thanks for watching. We'll do it all again next week. Bye-bye.
See you later.